Assalamu alaikum, sisters. Uh, and if there's any brothers out there, uh, these videos are for you. But if you're going to become a sister, well, then these are always for you. So, one of the often questions I get is about coming out and transitioning. So, I'm going to talk about that today. I started living with my aunt at 14. The reason behind that is that my parents had passed away. My aunt is Muslim, and she knew that while I lived with my parents, I like to cross dress sometimes. And, she didn't like that being Muslim. But so she pretty much said, like, if I ever do that, then I would, like, regret it, and that I should never do it. So, about 3 months after living with her, she caught me, and I was in one of her abayas and wearing some panties and a bra, and she was, very upset, very, very upset, and, she was like, why are you doing this? And, do you feel like a girl? And all those typical questions. So, yes, I did tell her that I like wearing the clothes, and yeah, sometimes I did feel like a girl. So uh so she was like, okay, and to undress, go back in my boy clothes. But the next day in the afternoon, she came home with a package, and it was a abaya and a hijab in my size. So she had me put it on, and we went out shopping. And unknown to me at the time, we were going shopping because I was gonna have to start going to school as a girl, and she had me going to a Islamic academy that was in the town that we lived in. It was with the masjid that she went to. I hadn't gone there yet. So that day, after putting on the abaya and the hijab, we went to the store, and she got me panties on my own, and training bras, and other clothes I would need as a girl, nightgowns, all that stuff, hygiene items. And then I started going to a doctor. In about 3 months, pretty much I was living it as a girl, and started going to the Islamic school as a girl. And this was when I was 14. So, and, I started going to masjid with my aunt. I would go to the Lays Halakwas. I would go to the other classes they had for like the tweens my age and the teens. And, they had one on like puberty. So I learned more about, the changes I was going to go under with hormones, girls in their period, bras, all that stuff. And high school, yeah, it was tough for me. I had to hide that I was trans. Didn't want the other students or teachers finding out. There was one time where I almost was found out. if you didn't know, girls in Islam, they don't pray when they're on their period. And I had a teacher that noticed that I was always praying every month. And I was 14, so most of the girls, they already had their period. I of course, wouldn't because I'm trans. But I didn't know that about periods and all that kind of stuff. I was still kind of a ignorant girl, I guess you could say. So my teacher took me aside and she asked me, have you had your period yet? And, I told her no. So she sent me to the nurse's office and my aunt came in. The nurse was, of course, talking to me about periods, how they come every month, and all that stuff, and about pads and all that feminine hygiene stuff. And my aunt, she talked to the teacher and the nurse, and pretty much said, like, I'll go to the doctor. I must be a late bloomer because I hadn't even been on hormones for 6 months at this time. And, I was still in a training bra at 14, and, my boobs were like double A's. They were small. I was teased for that by the other girls. So anyway, starting after that, I started, I would have a period, like a fake one, of course, every month for a week. I wouldn't pray and wouldn't raise suspicion. This was my aunt's idea, and so that's how I got around that. So that was like the one and only time I was almost caught in school. For school, we had to wear an abaya and hijab. At home, I wore an abaya and hijab. Pretty much that was my only clothes. At night, of course, I wear a nightgown. And then when I was 18, started wearing a niqab. Of course, that was my aunt's idea. So that was attracting too much attention. And that's what I've been doing. So that's pretty much my coming out. I got caught cross-dressing. Pretty much admitted that I liked to dress as a girl and kind of wanted to live as one. And my aunt was more or less supportive. I think really she just didn't want people in the community to know that she had a feminine son or niece, nephew, So she, had me transition and, just been very protective of me and my secret. So, I finished high school and I still live with my aunt. I do chores pretty much every day, cleaning, laundry, grocery shopping, cooking, of course, and then I'll volunteer at the masjid. I do like cleaning there. I sometimes do babysitting. I do teach a class, ironically, about puberty for girls. My aunt's idea, not mine. If you want to know more about that, just comment below. That's basically it. Like, subscribe, share, message if you have any comments. Thank you. Islam sisters.